我们公司最新的预测，今年的北京20房交易量将突破18万套。
Our company's latest forecast predicts that this year the number of second-hand homes sold in Beijing will surpass 180,000. In all the years we've been doing this, there haven't been many years where it's exceeded 180,000, and only one year did it go beyond 200,000. Everyone can decide for themselves whether this is good or bad. It's up to you to guess. One vlogger shared that the number of homes sold in Beijing this year will be shocking, but no one knows who is selling them. Another vlogger commented,
一夜之间啊，整个北京都在卖房。
Overnight, everyone in Beijing is selling their homes. The entire real estate market has completely changed. Out of every 100 people, 99 are listing their homes for sale. Now, no one will ask you if you've bought a house or where you bought it. The question will be, did you sell your house? Has it sold yet? What price did you get? The people buying homes are now the laughingstock. Those without homes are mocking those who have them. It's really heartbreaking. There are nearly 170 to 180,000 homes listed in Beijing. Every day, hundreds of new projects are listed, but owners who genuinely want to sell keep lowering their prices, yet their homes still don't sell. The inventory keeps growing. The situation in Beijing now is something no one would have dared to imagine just a few years ago. So, for those selling, don't keep stressing. Sell now while you can. Don't get trapped.
7 kinds of abnormal phenomenon are happening in China right now. One of these phenomena is that now in Beijing, everyone is selling their homes, with prices dropping to levels from 10 years ago. If you open China's short video platforms, you'll easily find countless videos about selling homes in Beijing.
3580万人在距离故宫2-3公里的
35.8 million yuan, and you get a traditional courtyard house in Dongsi, just 2 to 3 kilometers from the Forbidden City. Can you believe this? Check out the courtyard wall. Feel the era's atmosphere.
老头不坏，不得不便宜卖，别的房东。
Cheap sale. This homeowner has done an excellent job with the renovations. Oh my goodness, losing hundreds of thousands. The location is fantastic.
一夜之间，北京的房价直接回到了10年前。
In just one night, Beijing's housing prices dropped straight back to 10 years ago. In the fourth ring, where land is precious, the price is just over 50,000 yuan per square meter for a luxury renovation. You can move in with just your bags.
家人们，这房子真的摆太劲了啊！
Guys, this house is really a bargain. Look at this neighborhood. At its peak, it sold for over 20,000 yuan per square meter, but now it's just only a little over 4,000 per square meter. It's not just Beijing. Many places around the country are listing properties like crazy. In Shanghai, one vlogger said it's incredibly difficult to sell a house.
现在啊，想要卖房的业主真的是太惨了，就是你不挂一个低价
Homeowners trying to sell their houses are really having a tough time. If you don't list at a low price, no one will even look. If you lower the price too much, it feels horrible. It really feels like being stuck with the house. You can't sell it, and the price keeps dropping. The mortgage is something that must be paid every month, so homeowners' mental states are easily breaking down.
Across China, many people are feeling this. Fewer people in shopping malls, more concern about discounts when ordering takeout, travel plans changing from spontaneity to hesitation. Even buying new clothes requires deliberation. Don't doubt it. This is quite the signal being sent by China's economy. Ordinary people's wallets are really feeling thinner. According to the 2025 China Consumer Outlook report by Nielsen IQ, since January 2024, China's consumers' outlook on their financial situation has shifted from optimistic to more cautious. In July 2025, China's resident loan dropped by 489.3 billion yuan, marking the worst performance for this period in history. Most of these loans were for home purchases, showing that people generally do not want to borrow, spend, or dare to spend. Last year, there was even a wave of early mortgage repayments. In the first half of 2025, nationwide real estate development investment totaled 4.7 trillion yuan, a year-on-year decrease of 11.2%. The sales area of newly built commercial housing reached 45.9 million square meters, a 3.5% drop compared to the previous year. People who have already bought homes are accelerating their sales, fearing that holding on to property for even one more day could turn it into a negative asset. As the leading real estate brokerage company, Baike, also known as Anju, saw its second-hand housing transaction volume far surpass new housing in the first half of the year. The proportion of second-hand housing transactions in the company's total property sales increased to 76%. Another abnormal phenomenon is five-star hotels offering discounts but having no one book. High-end hotels that were once hard to book are now offering discounts, free breakfasts, and free airport pickups, with prices dropping to as low as 300 to 400 yuan per night. In December 2024, the occupancy rate of five-star hotels was only 52%, the lowest in 5 years. In first-tier cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, the average room price for luxury hotels dropped by 18% year-on-year. According to Huazhu Group's Q1 2025 financial report, Huazhu China's RevPAR revenue per available room was 208 yuan per night, a 4% decrease compared to the previous year, marking a new low since the pandemic recovery in 2023. It slightly rebounded to 235 yuan in the Q2, but still couldn't reach the levels of 2024. Other major hotel chains such as Shou LV, Wanda, and Jinjiang also saw declines in 3 key operational indicators: RevPAR, ADR, average daily rate, and OCC, occupancy rate, in the first half of the year. Another vlogger shared, the price cuts at high-end hotels in Shanghai are too dramatic. Now 5-star hotel prices are really getting out of hand. For example, the Hyatt Hotel in Chongming, Shanghai used to cost over 800 yuan per night, but now it's only 550 yuan. It was originally 1,200 yuan, but now, just so you don't go hungry, they'll give you a free 2-person meal set worth 300 to 400 yuan. So for just 550 yuan, you get a room worth more than 1,000 yuan and a free meal set. As a result of the real estate market downturn since 2024, more and more luxury hotels are being put up for auction. Chongqing Beibei Banyan Tree, Foshan Hilton, Beijing Airport Crown Plaza, Lijiang Street Regis, luxury hotels, once the cash cows of large real estate projects, are now becoming hot potatoes. In contrast, the occupancy rates of budget hotels and guest houses in China increased in 2024. According to the National Bureau of Statistics of China, the net profit margin of high-end hotels in 2024 dropped to 8%, down from 12% in 2019. Mid-range hotels had a net profit margin of 15%, while guest houses, benefiting from a light asset model, had a net profit margin of 20%. In the past, high-end hotels were supported by business boutiques, tour groups, and corporate travel. However, now, businesses are cutting travel budgets, and personal travel is decreasing, causing a direct break in high-end demands. Meanwhile, budget hotels and guest houses thrive on cost effectiveness. Consumption hasn't disappeared. It has simply shifted from a keeping up appearance to getting value for your money. The third abnormal phenomenon is high-end restaurants struggling, while fast food joints have long lines. For essential goods, people are still spending, but they are being more cautious. Take dining, for example. Due to the massive number of new restaurants opening after the pandemic, the competition has become fierce, and it's a consensus that the restaurant industry has struggled over the past 2 years. According to industry statistics, 4.09 million restaurants have closed across China in 2024. As of May 22, 2025, the number of restaurants in Shanghai where the average consumer spends 1,000 yuan has decreased by 40% compared to 2022, and 47% in Beijing, 57% in Shenzhen, and 35% in Hangzhou. Overall, the number of restaurants in China where the average consumer spends 1,000 yuan has decreased by 50% compared to 2022. Even hot pot giant Haidilao, the industry leader known for its standardized operations and supply chain, hasn't been able to avoid the downturn. In the first half of the year, the company's revenue was about 20.7 billion yuan, a 3.7% decrease year-on-year. Net profit was 1.75 billion yuan, down 13.7%. While dining in store has become challenging, takeout has seen growth. Haidilou's takeout business generated 927 million yuan in revenue, a 59.6% increase compared to the same period last year. One vlogger shared his perspective on the difficulties faced by high-end dining now.
现在的高端餐饮真的是太难做了呀。
Running a high-end restaurant is really tough now. It's noon in Gomao City, and restaurants are all selling boxed lunches. But it seems like not many people are buying, because compared to online takeout, their boxed lunches are way too expensive. I stood there for a minute, and it seemed like no one even asked for the prices. Right next are some of Beijing's most prestigious office buildings. Ever since the takeout battle started, these high-end restaurants just can't compete. To be honest, a lot of high-end restaurants with an average cost of several hundred yuan per person are now barely getting any customers. It doesn't matter if you're on the Michelin list or the Black Pearl list. Many five-star hotel restaurants have already started selling street food. Dining out has always been one of the hardest businesses to run, but now high-end dining seems even harder than mid-range and low-end dining. Do you remember that the last time you went to the restaurant where the average cost was over 100 yuan per person? When was that? Would you buy their boxed lunches or takeouts? Even a famous Michelin 3-star restaurant in Shanghai has closed its doors. A vlogger shared that EHB, a high-end Nordic restaurant in Shanghai, suddenly announced its closure. This restaurant, Shanghai's first Michelin 3-star Nordic restaurant, once had an average spending of nearly 10,000 yuan per person and required reservations 3 months in advance. When the closure announcement came, it caused quite a stir. The official statement cited strategic adjustments and did not provide a clear answer on whether it would reopen. While high-end dining is being ignored, fast food shops offering 15 yuan set meals are working overtime to fulfill takeout orders. High-end restaurant sales have dropped by 15.3%, while fast food restaurants with an average cost under 50 yuan per person have seen a 9.7% increase. The number of 15 yuan orders on delivery platforms has surged by 62%. In the past, people would choose restaurants with a sense of prestige when dining out. Now, they care more about whether the food will fill them up and whether it's worth the price. This isn't consumption downgrade, it's rational consumption. Since money is harder to earn, people are naturally more cautious with their spending. Abnormal phenomenon 4 is the luxury goods aren't selling. Secondhand platforms become flea markets. Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Hermes, these sales are down across the board, with the biggest drops exceeding 20%. Meanwhile, the transaction volume on secondhand luxury goods platforms has increased by 34%, and the number of sellers has surged by 58%. These luxury goods are harder to sell now, with the transaction cycle lengthening from 15 days to 28 days.
Let's take a look at the Chanel items that can't be sold. Most of the Chanel pieces on my table are unsellable. The red and silver 2.55. Guess how cheap it is? It's less than half of 25,000 yuan. It's really cheap, but a 2.55 bought at the counter is very expensive, and it looks great, but it's not selling.
On September 3rd, another vlogger shared that Rolex has stopped requiring customers to wait in line. Rolex popular models have always been hard to get, but a few days ago, I went to the counter to pick out a less popular model as a gift for a friend. When I got there, the sales staff immediately recommended the popular green Submariner. The shop owner said, "Now you don't need to wait in line or make special arrangements to get the popular models. The overall economic environment is bad and business is tough, but I didn't expect even Rolex to be affected. Now their popular models are just displayed in the store, and you can reserve them online in advance with nationwide availability." It's not that people suddenly don't like luxury goods anymore, it's the lack of confidence in the future. In the past, buying luxury goods was seen as investing in oneself, but now, buying luxury goods feels like adding a burden, worrying that they'll lose value or be hard to sell when the money is needed. The fifth abnormal phenomenon is that new cars aren't selling, but secondhand cars and auto repair shops are booming. According to data released on September 8th by the China Passenger Car Association, CPCA, the sales of electronic vehicles and hybrid electric vehicles in China grew by 7.5% year-on-year in August 2025. a significant slowdown from July's 12% growth. Reuters reported that this is the lowest growth rate since February 2024. New car sales are down, but in recent years, the volume of used car transactions in China has been steadily rising, growing from 8.59 million units in 2020 to 19.61 million units in 2024, more than doubling and narrowing the gap with new car sales. In the first half of 2025, China's used car market recorded a total transaction volume of 9.57 million units, a 1.99% year-on-year increase. An industry insider revealed that their automotive after-sales business saw a 105% increase in repair transactions for electric vehicles in 2024 compared to 2023. Consumers' thinking has changed. In the past, people would replace their car every 3 years, but now it's about maintaining it every 3 years. New cars are considered consumer goods, while used cars are seen as tools. Buying a new car costs money, while repairing an old car saves money. As income growth slows, people are more inclined to extend the lifespan of their items instead of constantly seeking novelty. Another abnormal phenomenon 6. No more spending on piano and art lessons. It's all about programming and certification exams. In China, spending on children's hobby education has declined, while spending on vocational skills training such as programming, finance, and foreign languages has skyrocketed. Parents' mindset has shifted. It's not about learning a hobby anymore. It's about ensuring my child has a future. A vlogger who has been teaching piano for over 20 years shared that they are struggling to find students and facing difficult times.
I never thought that after over 20 years of teaching piano, I'd be in a situation where I have no students to teach. Everyone around me is saying it's getting harder, especially since last year. Our piano training business has seen a significant drop in students. To increase my income, I even tried making desserts and sold items at a street market at the end of last year. I don't like going out, I'm not social, and I can stay at home without much desire. But the sharp decline in income still makes me anxious.
The piano industry is collapsing. I never imagined that the piano industry would be in such a terrible state, worse than real estate. In just 3 years, 90% of piano manufacturers are facing survival crises. China's piano sales have dropped from a peak of 400,000 units to 150,000 units, and the wave of closures in piano training institutions is sweeping across the country. In Beijing, the number of people taking piano exams has decreased by 43%. Piano lesson fees haven't increased in 10 years, but enrollment has dropped by 70%. Even second-hand pianos are being sold for as little as 10% of their original price. The boss of Huzhou, China's piano capital, was so angry that he smashed a piano live and asked viewers, "Is this what you call consumption upgrading?" Abnormal phenomenon number 7. All the money is in the bank, but no one dares to borrow. According to the Financial Statistics Report from the People's Bank of China in 2025, the total household deposits in the first half of the year increased by 10.77 trillion yuan, reaching a total balance of 162.02 trillion yuan, hitting a historic high. This reflects the continuous increase in resident savings. However, the growth rate of China's resident loans has slowed down, with only an increase of 1.17 trillion yuan in the first half of the year, and short-term household loans decreased by 300 million yuan. On September 9th, a Chinese financial vlogger analyzed where all the money is going when everyone is in debt. The common people are moving forward with debt, but where is the money going? The debt hasn't disappeared. The economy is growing, yet we feel poorer. Mortgage pressures are overwhelming. Wages are not rising, prices aren't dropping. The housing market is getting colder. More ironically, resident savings have exceeded 150 trillion yuan, but the CPI has dropped for 27 consecutive months. M2 has exceeded 320 trillion yuan. Housing prices have fallen back to 8 years ago, and the central bank has been injecting liquidity, but there's no money in the market. This is all because of a debt game that has been operating globally for a half century. The money now isn't real money. It's created out of credit. The vlogger explained that each time you take out a mortgage, the bank is creating new money. Every time you repay a loan, that money disappears. In the past, people grew wealthy by buying houses, but now the debt chain is breaking. Businesses are collapsing and people's money is being swallowed by a debt black hole. By the end of the first half of the year, the total credit card loan balance of 14 major banks in China had decreased by nearly 200 billion yuan compared to the beginning of the year, marking a 2.56% year-on-year decline. This indicates that China's credit card market has said goodbye to its growth trajectory and is entering a period of contraction. Vice President and CFO of China Merchants Bank, Peng Jiwen, admitted at a performance conference that the decline in credit card transactions is closely related to the slow recovery of the overall consumer market, indirectly acknowledging the sluggish economic recovery. Data from the People's Bank of China shows that the total number of credit cards and loans in 2024 decreased by 5.14% compared to the previous year, and the number of credit cards per person also experienced its first decline in years. This reversal of trends marks that China's consumer credit market has shifted from an expansion phase to a contraction phase, signaling broader economic growth pressure. In the past, people were willing to borrow money for consumption because they were confident in the future, believing that income would rise and jobs would be stable. Now confidence is gone, and borrowing money has become a burden, while saving money has become a sense of security. A vlogger analyzed that with unstable employment and the youth unemployment rate reaching 18.3%, which is likely a polished official figure, many graduates are finding themselves unemployed right after graduation. With jobs lost, income cut off, and housing values shrinking, homes are unsellable. Wealth is evaporating and consumer purchasing power is dropping. The vlogger pointed out that these abnormal phenomenon are not exaggerated, but reflect real spending choices and the national defense mindset. China's consumer power is experiencing a quiet cold wave. What should we do in the future? What we can do is control emotional spending, avoid being tempted by discounts and bargains, save part of our money, invest part in low-risk financial products, learn practical skills, and avoid blindly following trends. Most importantly, we need to avoid anxiety.